Well, here we are on a Thursday night, a beautiful day of spring sunshine in the Northeast. We've had some showers, downpours, and thunderstorms across the deep South. Some severe weather in the Western Plains going on as we speak. And we'll be covering all of that, the weekend forecast, and more on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, which, if you'd like to support it, maybe if you don't like to support it, force yourself. If you shop on Amazon, use the referral link that's pinned to the top of the chat board or on the descriptor to this podcast. It's very easy. Just click on the link, search and shop. Amazon sends you your stuff. Amazon throws us a little bit of coin. It doesn't cost you one extra penny, and it's an easy, quick way to support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And here we are. And as
And
a
here we are.
yes, and this is the last show until Monday, May 5th. Okay? You hear that?
Wow.
You hear that, Tim? Monday, May 5th. Don't message me. Don't email me. Okay? World comes to an end. Still be back here on Monday, May 5th. And there you go. So, anyhow, you had a nice day.
Oh, it was a beautiful day today. What a
Well,
wonderful day.
yeah, we had a little bit of rain early this morning, and then it just was kind of cloudy, and actually I kind of liked it. It was on the coolish side. It was basically in the 60s all day. I went to the sun kind of peaked out around 3 o'clock for like a brief moment or two. I went to the park. I walked my 5 miles, and I was happy about that. And then we just had a shower go by a little while ago, but not too shabby for late April here in North Georgia. You got one more nice day. Can you remember the last time you strung four decent days? I mean, for the most part, it's tomorrow's you're going to be your fourth decent day in a row. I
Right.
don't even. When did that happen last?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I can tell you this: we've had some. We had today was. I would have thought that yesterday. In fact, I said this on Tuesday. I said Wednesday is going to be the pick of the week, and it wasn't because again we had high clouds and maybe some haze from the forest fire smoke to our south. But today was gorgeous from start to finish. Beautiful, and it's going to be a clear night overnight tonight. So today actually gets the thumbs up in terms of great weather. Now, tomorrow, looking for sun to fade behind an increasing deck of cloud cover. If you're going to be going out tomorrow evening, no need to bring the umbrella unless you're going to be out beyond 10 o'clock. After 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow night, the first showers will begin arriving. And then, Joe, maybe a spurt of showery weather here with maybe even a rumble or two of thunder toward daybreak on Saturday. Saturday, showery in the morning, still a few showers in the afternoon, maybe a rumble of thunder late in the day. And I know that a lot of you have been hoping and hearing about Sunday being the better of the two weekend days. It'll be better in the sense, I think, and I don't know if Joe's going to agree with me, but I think it'll be better from the standpoint that I'm not expecting any precipitation. But if you're looking for a brilliantly clear, bright, sunny day on Sunday, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the combination of unstable air and a very unstable atmosphere and a cool pool of air,
Yeah,
which will lead to windy conditions on Sunday, will make for a day that will see a lot more cloud cover than sunshine.
like
If you want,
self destruct sunshine.
yeah, if you want a bright and sunny day, you'll have to wait until, of course, after the weekend is over on Monday.
How about a marginal risk for severe weather on Saturday?
You do.
No, I'm asking you for you.
I I think there may be some if there there might be some convection before sunrise on Saturday, and then things will kind of flatten out for a little while. And then in the afternoon, things will try to warm up a little bit, and there might be some late day thunder possible. But yeah, I don't expect or anticipate anything significant or major
All
from
right.
the standpoint of thunderstorm activity on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe in I know because Matthew Warman was asking me maybe in Pennsylvania. It's possible that they might go to a marginal risk. They already have a general thunderstorm risk, so they might stick in a nose of marginal risk up in the interior. But uh, it doesn't look like this is going to be any big deal from the standpoint of thunderstorms. And the other thing is, at least for you, um, Tuesday and Wednesday. Now Wednesday's kind of iffy because of the trying to figure out the timing of that cold front. But if it comes through, even if it came through with some showers and storms, I'm thinking 80s both days for Tuesday and Wednesday.
I think you may be right with Wednesday. I'm looking here. What did I say? I can't even. This is what happens when you get old, folks. Sometimes you can't even remember what you typed a half an hour ago. And a half an hour ago, as I was explaining to Joe, it was like mayhem much of the day here because of a breakdown in technology. Joe, I went for an average high temperature on Tuesday in the lower Hudson Valley of 78, and
Okay.
on Wednesday again an average high of around 78. And of course, that's an average, give or take a degree or two. So yeah, we could very well see some areas on Tuesday and Wednesday hit 80 degrees, and then it'll cool off some when we get to Thursday of next week.
And here in the south, after we get through tomorrow, we'll probably have slowly improving weather conditions over the weekend and into early next week, which will be nice. And hopefully it'll stay that way with regards to my plans being on the Florida Panhandle on I'll be on St. George Island, which is just south of Apalachicola, Florida. So that's my destination, and I'm planning to have a nice rest and a good time. So, and welcome tonight to everybody on the chat board. Those of you watching in the background, this is the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, and we call it that because we're both named Joe, which is just a novel concept. We're here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35, except again after tonight, we are going to be off all of next week, and we will not be back until Monday, the 5th of May. Okay. So subscribe now, turn your notifications on so that when we do come back on the 5th of May, you will be notified. And of course, if you like the show, hit the like button. So let's get started because the sooner we get started, the sooner we finish. And we have, you can see where my head's at. So I'm already packing my bags.
Yeah,
But on the hazards map tonight, we actually have a few more than we did yesterday. Nothing in the east. We've got a couple of actually three severe thunderstorm watches. There's one in East Texas in a small area of counties there near the Louisiana state line. There's another one in West Texas. Northwest Texas and Western Oklahoma are under a tornado watch. And then we have a severe thunderstorm watch for the southern quarter, the southwestern quarter of Kansas and the southeastern quarter of Colorado. So severe weather's picked up a little bit today. And as we check out the satellite loop with the lightning strikes, you can see that area that's moving into East Texas is like a Boeing line of storms. It looks like it might have just peaked out in intensity. We'll see because the lightning strikes looks like they've dropped off just a little bit in the last couple of frames. So we'll keep an eye on that. Starting to see some development of storms in Colorado, also in southern Kansas and in West Texas. You can see the clouds blowing off the tops of those thunderstorms to the east. Meanwhile, in the Northeast and down into the Mid Atlantic, a fine day indeed. A little more cloud cover as you go into the Carolinas and Georgia, and you see the lightning strikes that are going on in parts of Georgia, and those are all moving to the Northeast. Also, seeing a few cells in Indiana and in southern Ohio, and this is what it looks like tonight on the radar. We actually have a disturbance that's moving through upstate New York and into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine with some showers and maybe even a rumble or two of thunder. There's something going by just south of Albany, Joe, uh, along the I-90 corridor there, moving east. So you won't have to worry about that. And then we've got these clusters in southern Indiana, into southern Ohio and West Virginia. Also, a few clusters in eastern Tennessee, a few more clusters in Georgia, some around the Atlanta area right now, and also near Athens. We're also looking at, I'm sorry, Gainesville, and also seeing some heavy downpours and even a little flash flood warning that went up in one county in southwestern South Carolina. Not much going on in Florida. Here's that Boeing line I just mentioned going through East Texas with one severe thunderstorm warning that's out in there. And then you have storms blowing up in West Texas with a few severe thunderstorm warnings there. There's a tornado warning in one county in north central Colorado. I'm sorry, north central Oklahoma from a cluster of storms there. And then we've got another cluster east of Denver that's moving to the east. So kind of busy there. Also seeing some showers and downpours in parts of northern Nebraska into South Dakota, Wisconsin, uh, back up into Minnesota. So kind of busy on the radar today in the middle. The west is dry except for a few specks in northern California and in southwestern parts of Oregon. Storm Prediction Center tonight. Enhanced risk was added this afternoon, and you can see where the tornado watch is and the severe thunderstorm watches are, and the marginal risk that pokes its nose all the way up into Iowa, and you've got a slight risk in that area that's moving through East Texas, and a lot of areas in the Ohio and Tennessee Valley under general thunderstorm risk, as well as upstate New York and in New England, although the activity is, mild by comparison. So tomorrow, uh, once again, northwest Texas into Oklahoma under a marginal risk. And even though they have general thunderstorm risk in New York State to western Vermont and northern New Jersey, that's more for tomorrow night than it is during the day. Not during the day tomorrow. But the day
Yes,
tomorrow is going to be fine.
yes. As I
And
said, if you're going out tomorrow night, and if you're going out, let's say to, oh, I don't know, the King Buffet Chinese restaurant for a Friday evening bite to eat, uh, as long as you're not there beyond 10 o'clock, you should be A-OK. And again, most of the activity is in the after midnight hours tomorrow night, and toward daybreak on Saturday, you might just get that rumble or two of thunder.
what about the Hong Kong Gardens?
Oh, the Hong Kong Garden, too.
Yeah,
I even hear they have dancing at the Hong Kong Garden.
they
So,
do. Yes. Um, yeah. So here's for Saturday. They have SPC has general thunderstorms up to southern Maine, going all the way down the eastern seaboard, west across the Gulf states into a marginal risk again in northwest Texas and northeast New Mexico. Also, general thunderstorms from Nevada into Oregon, Idaho, and up into Montana. But what caught my attention is in the long range on day 5. So on day 5 on the long range, SPC has now added an enhanced risk of severe weather possible, an implied enhanced risk, 30%. Northern Missouri, easternmost Nebraska, northeasternmost Kansas, Iowa, all of it virtually, a small portion of southwest Wisconsin, and a small portion of southern Minnesota. The slight risk expands to the north and to the south, going down through Oklahoma. So this is one of those deals, Joe, that I think when SPC, as we always say, if they got it in the long range, you got to pay attention.
yes,
And this is day 5, which is Monday into Tuesday morning, and day 6, which is Tuesday into Wednesday. And this is ahead of a cold front that's going to be coming through sometime on Wednesday, depending on the timing. They have a 15% implied slight risk from northeast Texas, northeastward through Missouri, into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and southern Michigan. So 2 days to look at next week with respect to severe weather will be Monday and Tuesday because of SPC. And I was looking at the guidance, and I certainly can see it on both days in those areas where they're picking out, particularly the one for Monday.
and again, just to remind everybody, in case this turns out to be something serious or of extreme importance on a national scale, uh, we won't be here.
Right. I was just about to say that.
Yes.
Rainfall. Now, they did arrest somebody for that brush fire.
Well, somebody on the chat board says that the person who was responsible was 19 years old.
Yeah, 19-year-old. Can you imagine doing that and maybe, having done that and you're going to pretty much be known for that for the rest of your life?
Well, I mean, like, what was the purpose?
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know how he started it, whether he flung a cigarette or something. I don't know. I don't know the details. But yeah, he is now in custody. That is correct. Well, there'll be about a quarter to a half an inch of rain, and hopefully it'll finish more on the high side. So that'll help to, quash this a bit. Would be nice if we could have gotten maybe an inch plus, but you you deal with what you get. It's a little heavier up in Maine, where we've got an inch and a half plus there. Most of the Northeast is about anywhere from a half an inch to an inch and a quarter, with pockets of an inch and a half. It's a little less. You go down from New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania southward, you're looking at mostly a quarter of an inch, a little bit more in southern Virginia. Then it tails off even further as you get down into coastal South Carolina and Georgia, down into Florida. But we're still seeing 1.5 to up to 3 inches of rain across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, southern Missouri, Illinois, southern Indiana, western Kentucky, and western Tennessee. Also, 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half in parts of the western lakes. Up in the northern Rockies, we're seeing 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half being indicated in a smaller area from northern Wyoming into southern Montana, and also into the mountains of California and up into Oregon. So, uh, kind of busy in the middle part of the country again. This has really been the focus of all the severe weather that has gone on in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So, looking at the European, which lately has been my go-to model. Nothing goes on tomorrow, so you're good. And then you got some showers that start to try to come in Friday night into Saturday morning. You see where the low goes across the Great Lakes and up the St. Lawrence Valley, or upstate New York. So some rain moves on through. It gets heavier as it gets into New England, and then you wait for the cold front that might set off a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. So you get this surge of rain that'll come in overnight into Saturday morning, maybe a short break, and then you get another little round in mid to late afternoon of some showers and storms. And then, as Joe pointed out, you're going to have this low that's going to be sitting in Maine up Sunday morning. In fact, it's going to sit there all day. So with the upper trough that's with this, you're going to have instability clouds. You can see there's showers in upstate New York, and there's also a fairly tight gradient. So you're going to blow away again. Um, Probably gusts into the 30-mile-an-hour plus range, I would think.
yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, and once again, another windy day, and this one will be on Sunday. And I agree with you, Joe. Gusts could exceed 30, maybe even 40 miles an hour. Look how tight that gradient is. So there you go.
Yeah. And you can see there's scattered storms during the day on Friday in the Ohio Valley and across parts of the South, and then it disappears for a while. There's a burst of thunderstorm activity Friday night in West Texas, which SBC's got that severe weather risk indicated, and then that goes away. Now, on Monday, as we move along, you've got low pressure that's going to be running out of the Rockies and up into the Dakotas. And with that, is where you're going to wind up seeing these thunderstorms that get triggered out. You see the European triggers. It shows pretty good looking squall line there in Wisconsin down into parts of Iowa. So that's Monday night. And of course, we get this high that kind of settles near the coast on Monday. And then Tuesday, with a west southwest wind again, and a high pressing down from the northwest, that should set us up. That should set that should set eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England for a day in the 80s. And you can see the line of storms. And this is the Tuesday, Wednesday risk area, Tuesday night, Tuesday and Wednesday morning. And the European actually develops a pretty long line of storms from northern New York, running down southwestward into Pennsylvania and Ohio, then clear all the way down through Indiana, in western Kentucky, through Arkansas into northern Texas. So it's a very large area of storms. But do they hold together? And that, I think, is the big question as they approach just let me run this through. On Wednesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday, looks like that lead line falls apart, and then the front kind of hangs back a little bit and tries to come through, uh, you know, middle of the day or early afternoon. And it doesn't have much with it. So if there's enough sun, you should probably see temperatures get up into the 80s again on Wednesday before it cools off high to the north in Canada for Thursday and Friday and a bit of a northeast wind. So we have that. And toward the end of next week, we've got a low coming out of Missouri that runs up. Uh, that's kind of interesting. Or this low that's like a 97-ish low in Ohio. This could be a potential severe weather producer in the Northeast. We'll have to keep an eye on this if it verifies for the end of next week. And the overall pattern, actually, once we get through those first 4 or 5 days of May, it looks kind of cool. Big high comes down out of Canada, deep trough here in the eastern part of the United States, and then another one kind of follows that. And there's a series of these lows that are dropping into the eastern part of the United States, with upper troughs dropping into the east. So, the European weeklies, we looked at them yesterday, kind of showing this idea that eventually we're going to, as we get into after the first 5 or 6 days of May, we're going to be transitioning over into what could be a cooler than normal temperature pattern for the rest of the month.
Well, again, I'm looking here at CPC, Climate Prediction Center, and they are saying that, from April the 30th, with the 6 to 10 day outlook, April the 30th to May the 4th, and then from May the 2nd to May the 8th, they have virtually the entire country, save actually for Western Texas. Western Texas is below normal. That may also be because they are projecting above normal precipitation. But for much of the country, Joe, they're in that first
Everybody else above?
couple of weeks. They got above normal temp, but that's you know
That's
that's
subject to change without notice. It wouldn't be the first time that CPC put out something in the long range and had to walk it back.
exactly
So,
exactly.
that's what we do in weather. We put forecasts out, and every once in a while we got to walk them back. All right, let's get Briller Jeopardy done.
Okay, we'll do that, and let me just go now to pick that up. Come on. See, I have two different Facebook pages, and I could get to it instantly if Scott were sending it to me via Messenger, but he's sending it to me through my professional page. And it's not even Scott, it's Sandy Briller.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is the last in the series of I Love Lucy Briller Jeopardy questions, and we will revert back to weather, and that only seems proper since this is a weather podcast. But to finish this off for the month of April, I Love Lucy one last time, Joe, and here we go. And we touched upon this last night, actually, or the night before last, or maybe it was last night. Who sat next to Lucy in a restaurant in L.A.? Well, it was the Brown Derby, for goodness sake.
All right, it
Who
was
sat
William Holden.
William Holden, exactly. Precisely. All right.
Correct.
It's okay. After this is number two. After the birth of little Ricky, who did Ricky hire?
Who did Ricky hire?
Yeah,
Well, he got Lucy a maid,
and that it is. There you go.
Mrs. Porter.
A maid, Mrs. Porter. That's
What
right.
right, the
You
line
almost
was,
ate,
what
you
was,
almost ate Lucy out of house and home.
right, the line was, what is your name? Mrs. Porter. And what shall I call you? Mrs.
Mrs.
Porter.
Porter. All right, number three. What did Lucy lose in the episode? In the episode building a. Oh, wait a minute. What did Lucy lose in the episode? Oh, build. Oh, okay. There's no commas here. That's why I didn't understand how to read this. What did
Okay.
Lucy lose in the episode building a barbecue? That was the name of the episode.
Oh, her wedding ring.
Right.
I'm
And
not even giving the chat board a chance at this. So I want to
yeah.
get it done, and I want to
All
load the
right.
podcast up to Spotify and then go to bed. But
Who made a
Frank
cameo?
R. and Chuck Cardillo and Maggie P. all got it too.
Who made a cameo appearance in a two-part episode? And I think actually, Scott, I have to disagree with you. A cameo appearance is kind of like what Eve Arden did,
Right, you're there for like a couple like 20 seconds.
but this was not a cameo appearance. Then I'll make it easy on Joe. This was of the two-part episode. It was part two, and this famous celebrity was actually in much of that part two episode.
Oh, well, the only two-parter I could think of with the celebrity in it was John Wayne.
And there you go, John Wayne. Absolutely.
Scott
And
Briller
look,
just hit the chat, hit the tip jar, by the way, and thank you, Scott. I will enjoy my time off, which will
yeah,
begin shortly.
yes. It's going to begin right after I give this final question. He's going to get it within like 3 seconds. What did Ethel, Fred, and Ricky bet Lucy?
Oh, they bet her. Up, they bet her $100 that she couldn't tell the truth for 24 hours.
And that's it. That she couldn't go a day without lying. Another way of putting it.
Right, exactly. It
There you
was
go.
the funniest part of that was when they're at the bridge game, when they're playing bridge. He says, "I can't," he says, "I can't sit around and tell the truth for 24 hours with three other women."
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry to rush through this, folks, but you know what? I'm very anxious to. Not that I'm not leaving till Saturday, so and then I'm stopping at my daughter's and staying over before I drive down the rest of the way on Sunday. But I haven't really had much of. I mean, I've had vacations and trips along the way, but um, this is probably going to be the longest stretch that you and I have not done a show. We've done 4 days, 5 days around Christmas and that kind of thing. But just needed to get. I need some time to just like get my head to get the jelly out of my head. That really is it.
Well, you
Uh,
deserve it.
and Harold Olson, I am not anytime soon coming to New York. Just so you know. If I ever do, I will let you know. But no,
Well, if you
no.
ever do, you have a place to stay, and if we ever do, we certainly will have to make plans to have a Joe and Joe get together somewhere in the
Yeah.
tri-state area.
Well, you know what? One of these centuries, I'll make the trip. Um, but right now, for me, it's like a 14 hour. It's like a 13, 14 hour drive, and most of that is in the last 100 miles.
It's too bad that they don't have. I was talking with a friend just the other day about when I used to for the weather service I used to work for. I actually covered a few space shuttle launches, and that was going back to 1981. And I flew on a airline. Maybe some of you remember this, People's Express.
Oh, I remember People's Express. Sure, they flew out of
And I
Newark.
and I used to fly down to Florida. During the day, it was like $59 to Melbourne,
Hmm.
Newark, and at night, I remember one night flying back to Newark from Melbourne, $29, Joe.
Yeah, I
$29.
remember. Yeah, I remember.
They used to go up the aisle with a cash register and used to give money or your credit card. And, what I'm saying is alluding to, it's too bad they don't have that now so that you don't have to do all that driving. If it were as cheap as that, I'm sure you would have take advantage and fly north up
Yeah,
to.
and the thing is, so I'm about 2.5 hours from the airport. Okay, from Atlanta, Hartsfield. Um, so by the time I would get to the airport, and then I have to, park the car and actually park the truck, and then sit in the airport. This is as far as flying to Florida is concerned. Okay. And then, you got to get there 2 hours ahead of time and you got to go through security. And then, of course, you fly to your destination in Florida. Then you have to get off the plane. You have to rent a car. It's easier for me to just drive the 7 hours, you know, By the time if I had to go on the airport, um, there's that. I probably wouldn't fly up. I'd drive up because, for me, uh, I don't really mind the drive. It's just that I'm at the point now where I can't do it in one. I've done it nonstop. Okay. And, it's hard on your body.
Understood.
I'd leave here at like 5 or 6 in the morning, and I would get to Long Island at like 11 p.m. or midnight. And there was one instance where, because of traffic in Pennsylvania and a few other things, I didn't, I basically didn't get to my destination on Long Island until like 5:30 in the morning, and I was just utterly. I think I spent like 19 hours. I was absolutely destroyed from that drive. So now what I would do is I drive to my daughter in Baltimore, which is about 10 hours from here, and stay the night and then finish the drive the next day. I can't do it straight through anymore. So, um, anyhow, that's that. And I guess we'll see everybody on Monday, May 5th. Okay. And if I swear, if one person messages me Monday, May 5th, we will see you then. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks, Scott, for hitting the tip jar and for the Lucy trivia questions. And everybody have a great weekend. See you in 10 days. Bye bye.
Buy bonds.